With Ontario's new minimum wage continuing to dominate the news cycle this week, Ontario's Minister of Labour took the opportunity to talk directly to businesses upset with the new wage. And Kevin Flynn not only repeated the Premier's accusation of bullying, but also pointed out the teeth in the new Labour bill.
For the first time, the Minister of Labour now can, by law, publish the names of employers who break the rules. This is something we are very willing to do. We're also stepping up enforcement to make sure that all the new rules are followed. This includes the hiring of up to 175 new employment standards officers in this province.
Joining me to respond to the Minister in the events of the week are two esteemed members of the opposition. John Yakabuski is the PC MPP for Renfrew, Nipissing, Pembroke. Peter Tabuns is the NDP MPP for Toronto, Danforth. What do you make of the week? You must be thrilled because you've been calling for an increase in minimum wage forever.
Well, we are very pleased that the wage is going up. We asked in 2016 for it to go up to $15 an hour. And if you'll remember, Alan, we fought for the wage to go up to $10 an hour back in 2007. So we've had a long history on this. It's clear that people need the increase. I have to say, the Liberals could have done it sooner. Kathleen Wynne was waiting and waiting and waiting on this. I think the polling numbers came in so rough that she had to do something. And there's been a big labor movement, the 15 in Fairness group, that's been pushing very hard to make this happen. So I'm glad this has gone forward. I hope that it continues to go forward and that we don't see these situations like we're seeing in Cobourg, where employers are trying to beat back that increase by taking away from people in other ways.
John, your party has said you would keep the current rate increase but would delay the future one that would go to 15 next year. What do you make of what's happened over the past week?
Well, Alan, I mean, they rolled this out so badly. They knew early on, they had been warned earlier on about what the effects of the plan to roll this out that fast, that much in that period of time, and what the consequences were going to be. Business were telling them all summer long at the hearings. I was at those hearings when businesses were saying, we are not going to be able to make that kind of adjustment in this period of time. The Liberals could have done this so much better in a way that would not have resulted in the kind of upheaval that we're seeing today, where businesses all across Ontario, small businesses, 400,000 small businesses across this province, are now having to make a 21% adjustment with no time to make the operational changes in their own businesses. So they're finding it very difficult. The Liberals really could have done so much better if they had listened to the call for proper consultation in the first place.
Come back to you two guys in just a second, but we'll hear some more tough talk from the Minister.
Some businesses to take it out on their workers, however, is completely unacceptable, and it's simply wrong. It's the act of bullies that has no place in this province. But in the meantime, our government's going to continue to stand up for these workers. We've got your backs. We've made changes that will protect and support you.
In some ways, this has been a gift for the Liberals that are saying, look, we're going to stand up for workers.
It's a mixed thing. Frankly, we had an opportunity over the last few months to rewrite the labor laws so that there would have been a lot greater protection for workers, making it easier for them to unionize, putting in place a system where you couldn't have employees converted into contractors. They didn't do that. They've actually undermined protection that these workers are going to need in a situation where some employers, not all, most employers, I think, are fine and are able to move forward on this. But in some cases, people are going to be taken advantage of, and we're well aware of the situation at Tim Hortons in Cobourg, where people are being pushed back. They should have had more protection put in place.
John, I asked this question earlier in the broadcast. Who should the public be angry at? Tim Hortons, the franchisee, Tim Hortons, the parent company, or the government of Ontario?
Well, obviously, from our point of view, it's the government of Ontario. And let's be clear. Any business that breaks the law, we're not going to be defending them, nor should anybody defend them. And this is not about breaking the law. This is about businesses that are unable to adjust in the period of time. I read the Eagleville Leader this morning, a weekly publication, a great weekly publication, independently owned for 117 years in my writing, and they interviewed a number of businesses. And we're talking about a vegetable, fruit, and berry grower. Is he looking at $100,000 of adjustments that he has to make? And he said, it comes down to one of two things. I either have to cut staff or I have to raise prices. And you always have to be cognizant of the market effect of raising prices. This is the kind of adjustments that businesses are going to have to make in a short period of time because of the fact that the Liberals did not plan this out very well.
Peter, your party, if you win power, will keep the $15.
Correct. Absolutely.
Do you think that this raise was too fast? It should have been staggered out longer?
Well, you know, when we proposed it in 2016, if it had been brought in there, that would have been ideal. It would have been phased in over time. That said, people desperately need higher wages. You know how expensive it is in this city. You know the difficulty people are having.
Do you stand on the PC's position that they would delay the last dollar?
We disagree with them.
Why would you delay that last dollar? It's clearly a popular vote-getting measure. At least the Liberals believe so.
We believe we need to give business some more time to adjust. If the Liberals had done what we had asked for and gone to proper consultations, done the proper analysis, they would have realized that, as it is in other provinces, they would have spread this out over a longer period of time to begin with. So we've said that you know, the $14 an hour is law now; it's done.
And
if we were elected government, we would delay the further dollar for the term of our.
We just have a minute left because I think this is going to be such a key election issue as we go into June. You're going to be attacked for saying that you don't want to give people a raise, and I don't know what you're going to say because you've been sidelined. They've taken every policy you have.
They haven't taken every policy we have. If they'd done that, they'd make it a lot easier for people to unionize. We'd be dealing with precarious work. You wouldn't have employees reconfigured as contractors, so they're cut out of benefits and support. No, they haven't taken our program. They've looked at one piece that they think would be a vote getter, and I think it is a vote getter. People need an increase in their wages. They can depend on us to defend them on that.
10 seconds.
We believe that people do need a increase in wages. Life under the Liberals has gotten harder. Everything in this province has gotten more expensive while they've been in government. People do need an increase in wages, but it had to be done in a responsible way that we could have avoided this kind of conflict between employers and employees. Every employer wants happy employees. I was in small business.
All right.
I always wanted my employees to be happy.
Progressive Conservatives cannot count down from 10. Thank you so much, John. Thanks, Peter. Appreciate that.